Presence isn't proof, investment is. And this is where so many men get blindsided because they confuse a woman's physical presence with emotional commitment. You see her around you, she replies sometimes, she hangs out once in a while, and you convince yourself she's choosing you. But a woman can stand right next to you and still be miles away on the inside. Real connection isn't determined by geography, it's determined by the depth of her investment in you. A woman who's truly with you doesn't just occupy space in your life, she contributes to it. She brings energy, effort, curiosity, and the desire to truly know you. That's the difference between someone who's simply present and someone who's genuinely choosing you. A woman who's emotionally invested shows it in the way she leans into your world. She asks questions because she wants to understand you. She makes time because she values the connection. She initiates because she actually cares whether the relationship grows or fades. When a woman is with you, she doesn't sit back waiting for you to carry everything. She meets you halfway. And that's what so many men overlook. They chase presence instead of evaluating investment. Presence is easy. Investment requires emotion. It requires interest. It requires desire. And desire can't be faked for long. Think about the difference between someone who shows up out of convenience and someone who shows up out of genuine interest. Convenience is passive, it's effortless, it demands nothing from her. When she's bored, lonely, or undecided, she might still keep you around. But when a woman is truly invested, her actions become intentional. She participates, she engages, she gives something of herself. You don't feel like an option, you feel chosen. And that's the difference men must learn to recognize, because if you mistake convenience for commitment, you end up overgiving, overchasing, and overvaluing someone who isn't giving you even half of what you're giving them. The truth is, a woman's actions reveal everything. If she's interested, you'll know. If she's not, you'll feel confused. Confusion is the absence of investment, warmth, eagerness, and consistency. That is investment. When she's into you, you don't have to decode her behavior, analyze her every move, or look for hidden clues. A woman's investment simplifies everything. She follows through on her words. She makes time without excuses. She responds with genuine enthusiasm instead of cold, delayed replies that feel like you're pulling teeth. The effort feels mutual, balanced, and natural. And here's something men often forget. A woman who truly wants to be in your life won't risk losing her place in it. She won't play games. She won't test you. She won't disappear hoping you'll chase harder. She'll show up because she wants to, not because she feels obligated. Investment shows up in her consistency. It shows up in how she supports your goals. It shows up in how she communicates, how she listens, and how she participates in the connection. She doesn't leave you feeling drained. She leaves you feeling understood. A woman's investment is revealed in the quality of the energy she brings. She doesn't just say she cares, she acts like it. She doesn't just say you matter, she makes decisions that prove it. She doesn't just enjoy your presence, she values it. And once you understand this, you stop chasing temporary presence and start recognizing genuine commitment. The right woman doesn't make you wonder, she makes you feel chosen. And that clarity is the biggest difference between simply having someone near you and having someone truly with you. Only effort tells the truth. The biggest sign is her energy, not her words. Most men get caught up in what she says, the sweet lines, the convenient compliments, the moments where she sounds interested. But words are cheap, and anybody can say anything when it's easy. Real interest shows up in the emotional energy she brings toward you. The biggest mistake men make is listening to what she says while completely ignoring the tone behind her actions. A woman can tell you she cares, but if she's cold, distant, inconsistent, or emotionally flat, her energy is telling you everything you need to know. A woman's true feelings aren't spoken. They leak through her presence, her body language, her vibe, and the way she reacts to your presence. You know, when a woman is genuinely drawn to you because her energy becomes warm and inviting, she's playful, she's excited, she lights up when she sees you. There's a natural flow in the way she engages. She doesn't feel like an obligation. She feels like someone who actually wants to be there. That kind of energy can't be forced. You can't fake spark, enthusiasm, or emotional openness. When she's into you, she can't help but show it. Her voice softens when she talks to you. Her smile comes naturally. Her curiosity becomes real. She leans in instead of pulling away. She makes the moment feel easy, light, and connected. That's energy. That's attraction you can trust. Men who ignore energy end up wasting their time. They hear a woman say, I'm just busy. I still care about you, or I'm not going anywhere, but everything she does contradicts it. Her replies get shorter, her effort shrinks, and her enthusiasm disappears. She becomes a ghost, not gone, but emotionally vacant. And so many men cling to the words because they're afraid to accept the truth of her energy, but her energy is the truth. Her words are often the polite version of it. A woman rarely tells you she's checked out, she just stops investing the same way she used to. Her tone becomes dull, her interest becomes minimal, and her focus drifts away from you. That shift in energy is the warning sign men overlook until it's too late. You can feel her energy change before you understand it logically. That's why your gut tightens, why you feel uneasy, why something feels off. Even if she says everything is fine, women communicate more through feeling than language. Their emotional presence tells the whole story. If she's excited about you, it radiates. If she's losing interest, it fades. Attraction is in her vibe, not her vocabulary. And when you learn to read that, everything gets clearer. You stop chasing words and start paying attention to effort. You stop accepting excuses and start valuing behavior. You stop falling for potential and start recognizing reality. A woman who wants you makes time feel alive. A woman who's unsure makes time feel heavy. You can sense the difference instantly. You don't have to push or pull or convince or negotiate with real interest. It shows up naturally. Her energy leans toward you. She initiates, she reciprocates, she gives, she participates. She invites more connection instead of avoiding it. Attraction is supposed to feel mutual, not draining. And here's the truth: a woman's energy will always reveal the direction the relationship is heading long before her words do. If the vibe is weakening, the connection is already slipping. If the vibe is strong, the bond is growing. Reading a woman correctly isn't about analyzing every sentence she says, it's about noticing how she feels around you. Her energy is the clearest sign you'll ever get. Energy never lies. A woman who's truly with you doesn't just show up once, she chooses you daily. And this is where most men completely misread the situation. They think interest is something a woman declares once and then it stays that way forever. But real connection is a living thing. It breathes, it grows, it deepens or dissolves depending on the choices both people make every single day. A woman who's genuinely into you keeps showing up with consistency, not just when it's convenient or when she feels like it. Her effort doesn't disappear after the honeymoon phase. Her interest doesn't fade after you give her attention. When she's really with you, she keeps choosing the connection over and over again. Consistency is the real metric of attraction. Everybody can be charming in the beginning, everybody can pretend to care when it's new. But consistency reveals character. It shows whether her feelings are rooted in genuine connection or just temporary excitement. A woman who's genuinely invested won't let the energy die. She messages you not because she has to, but because she genuinely wants to keep the connection alive. She checks on you. She remembers details. She asks how your day went. She initiates plans. Not every day will be fireworks, but the effort will be steady. That's what commitment looks like before commitment is even discussed. And it works the other way too. A woman who stops choosing you shows it through fading effort. Her replies get slower, her curiosity fades, conversations feel forced, and the warmth you once felt becomes cold. That shift doesn't happen overnight. It happens in the small moments where she chooses something else over you. Most men see these signs but ignore them because they're scared to acknowledge the truth. But ignoring it never fixes it. Real interest grows through attention, not avoidance. A woman who wants you won't let herself slowly drift out of your life. She will stay connected, engaged, and emotionally present. What men often misunderstand is that choosing someone daily doesn't mean constant communication or clingy behavior. It simply means she makes space for you in her life. Even when she's busy, she makes time. Even when life gets challenging, she stays emotionally available. Even when things feel routine, she keeps nurturing the connection instead of becoming passive. She sees the value in what you share, so she protects it by showing up consistently. That's what choosing looks like. It's not grand gestures, it's sustained presence. And here's the subtle truth: a woman only chooses you daily when she feels safe, respected, understood, and emotionally drawn to you. Women invest in what feels good, they invest in what feels aligned, they invest in what feels like growth. When she sees a future with you, when she feels the connection has depth, she naturally keeps choosing you. That choice becomes effortless, almost instinctive. She doesn't need to be reminded of your worth, she feels it. She doesn't lose interest because she's already emotionally involved. And emotional involvement doesn't fade unless something deeper breaks. That's why paying attention to consistency is so important. The biggest sign she's truly with you isn't how she starts, it's how she continues. A woman in alignment with you doesn't disappear, doesn't send mixed signals, and doesn't make you guess. She shows up because she wants to. She puts in effort because she cares. She chooses you because the connection matters to her. Consistency is love in action. Emotional safety is one of the strongest signs of a woman's true feelings, yet it's the one most men overlook because they're too focused on surface level behavior. A woman may enjoy your company, she may laugh with you, she may flirt with you, but none of that means she's emotionally connected. Real connection begins the moment she feels safe enough to open the parts of herself she usually protects. A woman only unlocks her deeper emotions when she trusts the space you create. She doesn't give that to just anyone. Emotional safety is her way of saying, I'm comfortable here. I can be myself. That's the moment you move from being someone she likes to someone she actually feels drawn to. When a woman trusts you emotionally, you'll notice she stops filtering her personality around you. She lets her guard down. She tells you things she doesn't share with others. She opens up about her dreams, her fears, her insecurities, and the experiences that shaped her. She doesn't do this to seek pity or validation. She does it because she feels safe in your presence. She feels understood. She feels valued. And when a woman feels understood, her attraction deepens naturally. Emotional safety is her bridge between curiosity and commitment, between interest and investment. Without it, she stays guarded. With it, she becomes expressive, affectionate, and open. Most men think attraction is built through smooth words, compliments, and physical chemistry. But the truth is, a woman's emotional connection grows through how she feels when she's with you. Do you listen to her? Do you understand her? Do you judge her? Do you react with insecurity when she shares something vulnerable? She pays attention to these things. If she feels she has to hide parts of herself, she never fully connects. But when she senses emotional stability from you, when she sees you handle her openness with calmness and maturity, she feels safe enough to reveal more. That emotional flow creates the bond men crave but rarely understand how to build. When a woman feels emotionally safe with you, she doesn't walk on eggshells. She doesn't worry about whether you'll get angry, insecure, or defensive. Instead, she relaxes, she becomes playful, she becomes affectionate, she becomes expressive, and you start to see a softer, more genuine side of her, one that she doesn't show to the world easily. Most women lie behind emotional armor because the world has taught them to protect themselves, but the right presence, the right energy, the right man removes that armor without force. He does it through consistency, calmness, and authenticity. You'll also notice that emotional safety changes the way she communicates. She stops being cryptic and starts being honest. She expresses what she feels instead of withdrawing. She shares what's on her mind instead of expecting you to guess. She becomes more open about her needs, her boundaries, and her expectations because she trusts you won't use her vulnerability against her. This is a powerful shift. It transforms the relationship from something casual into something meaningful. When a woman feels safe, she builds with you. When she doesn't, she keeps her distance even if she's physically present. And here's the deeper truth. Emotional safety isn't something you demand, it's something you inspire. It comes from being consistent in your actions. It comes from listening without trying to fix everything. It comes from staying grounded instead of reacting impulsively. It comes from being a man who is comfortable with emotions instead of treating them as weakness. When she sees that you can handle her emotional world with strength and understanding, she feels free to be herself. And that freedom is what makes her bond with you in a way that doesn't fade. A woman's vulnerability is the clearest window into her heart, and she only opens it where she feels safe. When a woman is truly with you, she doesn't fight your purpose, she aligns herself with it. This is something most men never notice because they're too focused on whether she likes them instead of whether she respects their direction. But a woman's deepest attraction isn't built on looks or charm, it's built on your sense of mission. Your purpose is the backbone of your masculine identity. It's the thing that gives your life structure, meaning, and direction. And when a woman sees that you're a man moving with clarity and confidence, she naturally adjusts her rhythm to match your pace. She respects what you're building. She admires your discipline. She recognizes the strength behind your consistency. That alignment is a sign most men miss, but it's one of the clearest indicators that she's not just with you temporarily, she's emotionally connected. You can always tell when a woman is aligned with your purpose because she doesn't compete with it. She doesn't get jealous of it. She doesn't make you choose between her and your goals. Instead, she respects the time and focus it takes to build something meaningful. She encourages your growth, not because she's trying to control you, but because she genuinely wants you to become the strongest version of yourself. That kind of support doesn't come from casual interest, it comes from emotional investment. A woman who sees you as long term sees your purpose as part of her future too, and she treats it with the same seriousness you do. Alignment shows up in the way she reacts to your ambition. If you tell her about a project, she doesn't roll her eyes or act uninterested. She listens with curiosity. If you talk about your goals, she doesn't make it about herself. She supports the vision. If you're busy working on something important, she doesn't create drama or pressure you with guilt. She gives you space to handle what needs to be done. That's the behavior of a woman who respects your direction. And respect is a core foundation of any deep romantic connection. Without respect, there's no trust. Without trust, there's no emotional bond. Without emotional bond, there's no real relationship. A woman who's aligned with you also understands how to flow with your lifestyle. She adapts to your rhythm without losing herself in the process. You don't feel resistance from her, you feel harmony. Conversations become easier, planning becomes smoother. Life feels less chaotic and more balanced. She doesn't push you off track. She walks beside you in a way that strengthens your focus instead of weakening it. This alignment creates a powerful sense of teamwork where you're not just dating someone, but partnering with someone who believes in your path. Men often overlook this because they get distracted by physical chemistry or emotional highs, but long term connection needs deeper roots. And one of the deepest roots is shared direction. A woman who doesn't align with your purpose will eventually pull you away from it. She'll become a distraction, she'll create stress, she'll make you question yourself. But a woman who aligns with your purpose does the opposite. She amplifies your confidence. She inspires strength. She supports your growth without losing her own identity. She doesn't need you to slow down, so she feels secure. She grows with you. And here's the truth: most men never learn. A woman who respects your purpose respects you. A woman who supports your growth supports the relationship. A woman who aligns with your direction aligns her heart with yours. Purpose and partnership are deeply connected. When she's truly with you, she doesn't just like who you are, she believes in who you're becoming. Alignment is attraction in its highest form. Her absence speaks louder than any sweet words. And this is the part men struggle with the most. We hear a woman say she still cares, she still wants to stay connected. She's just busy, she's just going through things, or she needs time. And we hold on to those words like lifelines. But the truth is, when a woman's energy, effort, and enthusiasm begin to fade, the connection has already shifted. Absence is never an accident, distance is never random. When she starts investing less, she's telling you exactly where her heart is, even if she never says it out loud. Her silence becomes a message, her hesitation becomes a decision, and her withdrawal becomes the biggest sign men usually miss. A woman who's genuinely with you doesn't disappear emotionally. She doesn't become hard to reach. She doesn't create confusion or mixed signals. She doesn't make you chase her affection or guess her intentions. Instead, she stays connected. She stays engaged. She stays present. A woman who truly wants you will not risk losing you by being careless with her presence. So when that shifts, when she stops initiating, when conversations become forced, when her warmth turns into cold neutrality, it's not because she suddenly became busy. It's because the emotional bond is fading. Most men ignore these early signs because they're afraid of facing the truth. They'd rather cling to the woman she used to be than accept the woman she's becoming. They hope things will magically fix themselves, that she'll return to how she acted before, that this is just a temporary phase. But emotional distance is rarely temporary. Once a woman disconnects internally, her behavior follows. She becomes less responsive, less invested, and less available. You can feel the shift long before you understand it. It's in the tone of her voice, the delay in her messages, the lack of enthusiasm in her presence, the way she stops making plans or showing initiative. She starts drifting, not because she's confused, but because she's already making her exit quietly. Here's the truth men need to understand: women don't leave all at once. They leave in stages, first emotionally, then mentally, and finally physically. By the time a woman actually walks away, she's been gone inside her heart for a while. Her absence it's began long before her body did. That's why men get blindsided. They didn't read the absence as the message it was. But absence is communication. It reveals what words hide. If she cared, she'd be present. If she wanted to grow the connection, she'd show it. If she was committed, she'd invest. Effort is always the real proof, and lack of effort is always the real truth. Recognizing her absence early doesn't mean panicking, chasing, or trying to fix things through force. That never works. You can't argue someone into feeling something they no longer feel. You can't convince a drifting heart to stay. The only thing you can do is accept what her actions are telling you. Her absence is a mirror showing you the state of the connection. Instead of fighting that, you must respect it. When a woman pulls away, the strongest move isn't to cling, it's to let her show you who she truly wants to be with. Her distance draws the truth to the surface. Her space reveals her priorities. And sometimes letting go is the only way to see whether she chooses to return. A woman who's truly with you shows it through presence. A woman who's drifting shows it through absence. And that absence, whether subtle or obvious, is the biggest sign men must learn to listen to, because the heart always reveals itself through behavior long before it speaks through words. Distance tells the story.